Alright guys, so now moving on to another Patreon request, and this one comes from my good friend Jason Voorhees 2011, who asked me to do a Transformers RWBY crossover. Yep, basically the two things that we could have gotten from DC and IDW, but now that we know IDW no longer has Transformers, this crossover will never happen. Because knowing our luck, Transformers and G.I. Joe will go to, like, Marvel, and we will never get a crossover, unless it's another, I don't know, maybe another Marvel Transformer crossover, or Marvel G.I. Joe. Or maybe they'll put them together like that, because remember, there was a Transformers and G.I. Joe were in the Marvel Universe, like, legit in the Marvel Universe, for a hot minute during the 80s and early 90s. And that was a thing. But I'm getting off topic. So, yeah, Transformers and RWBY. So let's get started. So this story, starts on Earth, and what is happening is that the Autobots are discovering some unknown entities that are crossing over into Earth's plane. And essentially, what they are Grimm. And the Autobots have like Megatron and the Optimus and the others have seen like their fair share of weird shit. Like it's been fairly known that there has been some very oddball shit that has gone on in the realm of the Transformers universe. But there's never been anything like this. Like they've never really encountered something of this magnitude. Like they've never really encountered these Grimm, these creatures. Like they've never really encountered them before. So as the Autobots fight their way through the Grimm, it's discovered that it's not just them battling the Grimm, it's the Decepticons, or rather what's left of them. It turns out that someone else has usurped Megatron, and Megatron actually arrives to assist the Autobots in fighting the Grimm alongside Soundwave and a few the few Decepticons left loyal to him, because Starscream fucked off and joined this new ally, this new Decepticon dissenter, and along with others. So what has happened is that Megatron, along with Soundwave and the other handful of Decepticons, go to Prime and tell him that I was usurped. Someone I thought I could have in my ranks turned on me, and they're like, maybe next time you won't trust Starscream, right? And he's like, it wasn't Starscream. Starscream actually teamed up with this guy, and now I'm stuck with only a handful of soldiers left. And Optimus is like, why should we help you at all, Megatron? This seems like your problem. And he's like, because the person who usurped me has allied with the person making these creatures. And that's when Optimus finally relents and says, okay, Megatron, who turned on you? Like who was your betrayer? Like who betrayed you? And he goes, Thunderwing. So yeah, Megatron isn't the villain here, in the main villain in this story. It's Thunderwing. Yeah, so Thunderwing came in with Grimm, fought Megatron and deposed him, and took the other Decepticon, and the majority of the Decepticons left with him and his new Grimm army. So Thunderwing, using the power of Dark Energon, opened a gateway for Grimm to come through. It turns out that Grimm not only can pass through to Earth thanks to the power of a Dark Energon gateway, but also they can interact and grow stronger from it. So yeah, it's not looking good. And of course, Thunderwing has teamed up with Salem. Because Thunderwing's connection to Dark Energon makes it stronger. In some of the IDW comics, he is like he did experiment with Dark Energon as much as Galvatron did. So I'm kind of using that. And it never hurts to have a different villain other than Megatron in your story. And plus, Thunderwing is also equally awesome. Anyway, so Thunderwing and Salem are amping up the Grimm for an Earth invasion, because it turns out what has happened is that the Grimm, are able, like I said, are able to grow stronger from the dark energon, and not only that, the Decepticons are on Remnant and able to harvest more energon and more resources for their for their fuel to crush the Autobots. So Optimus and Megatron have to unite to go to this this other world and stop Thunderwing and his grim Decepticon invasion. So obviously, what's going on in Remnant is that they're battling not just these new souped-up Grimm. The Huntsmen are also dealing with these Decepticons, which are actually now copying some of their Atlas's machinery to use at their own leisure. So yeah, it's obviously not looking good for anyone right about now. It's in it's just kind of a shit. It's in every meaning of the word a shit show. So yeah, it's it's not looking good for anybody. So anyway, so after fighting their way through several enhanced Grimm, it's then that the Optimus and his team comes across RWBY, the team, RWBY, the group, not Ruby, just Ruby Rose. So RWBY, when they encounter the Cybertronians, they're like, more metal giants, great, that's wonderful, that's just what we needed. And that's when Optimus explains, we're not here to fight you, we're seeking a one like us who has been no doubt plaguing your people. And they're like, yeah, that's Thunderwing. He calls himself Lord Thunderwing, and Megatron's just like, Lord Thunderwing. And that's when Ironhide goes, yeah, that sounds really stupid, Lord Megatron. So obviously no one is really happy about any of it, happy at the idea of Thunderwing now commanding these Decepticon and Grimm. And with the shared technology that Thunderwing is giving Salem, her Grimm and her own soldiers are actually growing stronger with each passing minute. So things are really not looking good right about now. It's it's kind of hitting a crisis point at this moment. So RWBY and the Autobot Decepticon alliance, trade notes. They both kind of talk about what to do. And while this is going on, they're like, there's only one suitable option, because it turns out Crow, in his bird form, did a little reconnaissance and found out that Salem is helping Thunderwing build a space bridge that won't bring them to Cybertron, but will pull Cybertron to this universe. And in that moment, they're like, that's really bad, because Thunderwing doesn't care about Cybertron. He cares about universal conquest, and he'll destroy both worlds if that means he can harvest enough energon to conquer two universes. And they're like, well, Salem doesn't care about conquering universes. She just cares about destroying the universe. And that's when Wheeljack points out, he's like, he's right. She's right, Prime. That space bridge, it's not going to pull Cybertron here. It's going to rip apart both planets. It may even rip apart both universes. And they're like, oh shit, that's what Salem really wants. She's playing Thunderwing, and is playing on his whole thirst for conquest, just so she can tear down an entire multiverse, and just so she can rip apart an entire multiverse and just kill everything, because she hates all life. So now it's set that they have to go and defeat Thunderwing and Salem. So it's decided that it's on. It is 100%. There's no other way to do it. We have to go and face Thunderwing and Salem head on in a fight. And they're like, how? The Decepticons and Grimm have kind of have more or less torn apart what's left of Atlas, and we don't have enough forces to make an army, to make a stand. And that's when Optimus rallies everyone and is like, we will go and we will fight as one combined unit. Huntsmen, Decepticons, and Autobots. All of us roll out. So they all head out, and you know, for fun character moments, like I kind of see that like there's moments where Optimus talks to RWBY about leadership. Yang and Ironhide talk about like scraps and whatnot, like the best scraps they've had. I don't know who I'd pair with Blake, but I would definitely pair Weiss with Trax. No doubt about it. Like I would pair Weiss with Trax and have them like kind of bicker back and forth. Anyway, so once they arrive at the construction of this grim space bridge, Thunderwing goes immediately for Megatron. He's like, "This time I'm gonna kill you," and he's like, "And you were welcome to try again, boy." So as Thunderwing and Megatron are fighting, Optimus and RWBY face off with Salem, who's preparing to activate the machine and tear the multiverse apart. So they fight their way through it, and Salem just keeps Salem just keeps regenerating. That's when RWBY throws out a good idea, using the Silver Eyes and the Matrix of Leadership. Optimus opens up and uses this Matrix. RWBY uses the Silver Eyes, and they badly cripple like Salem. Like she's just kind of like on the ground, like just all torn apart and shit. So he has to like crawl away. At the same time, Megatron defeats Thunderwing. He looks at Starscream and goes, "Now then, Starscream, who rules the Decepticons? You, Lord Megatron, you, oh gracious leader." Exactly. And that's when Megatron just destroys the space bridge. So by the end of it, as a makeshift portal by Wheeljack is being made, everyone says their goodbyes, and the two universes are saved. So there you go, guys. That is my Transformers RWBY crossover. I'd like to thank my good friend Jason Voorhees 2011 for this Patreon and continued patronage. And you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.